Yeah, so this puff additive, so this can mix up to 20%. I like to not go as high as 20% just because the more puff additive you add, the less durable the print really is gonna be to a certain extent. Some inks, if you do mix 20, I've still noticed curing issues and stuff like that. I've ate thousands of dollars worth of orders, so like I try to stay away from that 20%. It scares me. Today I'm gonna mix like 15%. Really it matters what ink you're mixing into. I do know that with the other brand, the Maxopake series from Union worked pretty decent, so that's what I got today. I got my bucket on there, I teared it out to 0. So I got right around 400 grams. I'm gonna tear that, so that makes 60 grams of this. Yeah, especially since I'm mixing 15%, you know, you can go over a little bit. And then it is important that you just stir the crap out of this. I literally would stir my puff inks for like 10 minutes. If it's not mixed all the way, you can have certain parts of your design start cracking on you. You do need to check the technical data sheet to see how much puff you need to add. Some puffs I've even seen now, they're up to 30%. Generally about 15 to 20% is kind of standard. Really, that's the main thing. When I've seen people bring in shirts, you know, the puff ink just flakes off after a couple washes, it starts cracking. The puff additive is not a curable product. If you mix 10, 15, 20% in, it will cure, but by itself, it's not gonna cure. The trick with puff is just laying down more ink, just not adding more additive. They're like, this isn't puffing up, so they'll just keep adding more additive, and then they get the effect they want, but then the customer is upset that their ink's washing off their shirt. I like to use 86 mesh. Really, you can go up to like 100, 200 microns stencil-wise, especially if you're not gonna print flash print. This we're gonna print flash print. I don't really recommend doing print flash print because it makes it, you kind of lose some of that texture, and I've noticed more curing issues when you do that. I'm gonna try to do everything I can to lay down as much ink as possible. So I'm gonna have a little bit lower of an angle, just as light as pressure as I can. Real magic happens when you throw it through the dryer. Just because it puffs up when it comes out of the dryer also doesn't mean that it's cured. That's a common misconception. A crack test and a full test is gonna really make sure that it's cured. And also when I'm doing, you know, a fresh shirt, I like to see in the dryer if it's puffing up, because if you're having too much heat, it'll actually deflate. So you kind of want to know where it's at. So to do the crack test, we just let it cool off a little bit. When I used to do this on my smaller dryer, I always ran it through my dryer twice. Generally what I would do is throw all my shirts through the dryer once, then you gotta be really careful not to fold or stretch the shirt because it wasn't cured at that point. And then I would speed my belt up just a little bit and then run them back through again. I noticed if I did it both at the same time, that the second time they would kind of deflate and get almost too much heat. So to do a stretch test, I only mixed 15% in it, so this is gonna be a lot more durable of a print than if I did 20%. I see a little bit of cracking right there. That might have just been that this edge just didn't get the proper heat. You can definitely get more of a loft to it, like I said, if you build up your emulsion stencil.